Hi, and welcome to One Acadiana's Candidate Conversation Series. I'm Keely McGivney, and this is Andre Bro here on the team at One Acadiana. We're bringing you candidate conversations so you can get to know folks who are running to represent you for offices across Lafayette Parish.
That's right. And for this conversation, we're joined by Sam Taulli Jr., candidate for Lafayette Parish School Board District 6. Sam, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Well, let's get started with just the basics. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in the community.
Well, I was born on the West Bank of New Orleans, grew up there, went to high school at Archbishop Shaw, and then made the great decision of going to USL. And when I went to USL in 1970 to 74, I had the experience of my life, fell in love with the people and the culture of Lafayette, and always wanted to be here. But in 74, there were no teaching positions in Lafayette Parish that were very difficult to find. So it took me 10 years to work my way back. And then in 1984, I had that opportunity to be hired at Lafayette High. And fortunately enough, I was given that job. And almost immediately, I knew this is where I wanted to be. So this is where I've made my home for the last 38 years and loved every minute of it.
Well, great. It's nice to hear more about you. And can you talk next about, given your background and everything, what inspired you to run for school board?
Well, after 48 years of teaching, I've decided to retire. So I'm looking for a new challenge, looking to give back to the community that's given so much to me, having worked with parents and in booster clubs in both football and baseball. And I thought this would be a great situation where uh, a teacher could be represented on a school board, someone who knows the in and outs and the workings, and someone who still has something to give to the community. So I thought it was a good idea.
Well, after 48 years of teaching, I'm sure you know the issues well. So if you are elected to the school board, what rises to the top for you as some of the issues you want to address? And we'll start with short-term issues.
Short term, we have support staff that's barely making it's below poverty level. I think that needs to be addressed somehow in the budget. We need to bump up the salaries of our paraprofessionals, our custodial workers, our cafeteria workers, and we've got a shortage of all in all areas. But particularly last year, we ran into a situation where we're short on bus drivers. Some of the routes aren't being run in the morning. We had a difficult time finding bus drivers take us to extracurricular events, and the salary scale is below the poverty level, which is, I think, ridiculous. So I think in the short term that's one of the main things that need to be done. And also there are some programs that have been mandated by the school board that hasn't been funded. And the teachers need the resources if they're going to teach effectively to teach these things that have been mandated, and their hands are tied right now and they're trying to make things up. So those are two of the things that I can see right away that need to be addressed.
Well, great. And if we continue down the priorities track, if you think about the future of the school system, what are some long-term issues that you believe the school board is going to need to stay focused on addressing?
Well, we have a national teacher shortage. Everybody in the country. I saw in the news not too long ago, the first day of school in Jefferson Parish, there were 200 vacancies. So I think the legislature and Bessie has to get together along with the local school districts and figure out a way, an incentive to want young people to want to become teachers, to become certified. And whether it's a situation where if a young person decides to go to school, get their degree, and then teach in the state for 5 years, then they ought to be uh, reimbursed some of their tuition to persuade some of these people to go into education, and got to have that carrot sticking out there in front of them to make them want to do this. And from what I understand, it's been done in some of the other states, not necessarily in education, but nursing shortages. They've done it. They've waived some tuition for people who went into nursing and then worked in the state for 2 years. So something like that can be done, but it's going to have to be done from the legislative side. Uh, so it's a serious problem that needs to be addressed. There just aren't enough teachers out there right now.
Well, if you are elected, not only would you be a policymaker on the school board, but you would also be an ambassador for the school system and for Lafayette Parish. If you were talking to somebody interested in moving into Lafayette Parish about the area, what would you tell them about public education in Lafayette?
Well, Lafayette Parish is one of the top school districts, public school districts in the state. And knowing firsthand, there are a lot of great teachers in this parish, from elementary on up to high school. And the teachers care. They're invested in their students. They work hard. I've seen firsthand how many of them work hard and give extra time to make sure their students are well informed and well trained. And it's just the people in the community, the culture of the Lafayette people. Whenever there's something that goes wrong, they step up. Whatever the event, they're going to be there and try to help people. Like in hurricanes and where there are other catastrophes that we've had, people have stepped up, and it's just a great location and a great place to raise your children. And it's a place that I'm proud to live in.
Well, that was a great sales pitch for the school system and our teachers. Now give a sales pitch for yourself. Why should the voters of District 6 vote for Sam Taulli for Lafayette Parish School Board?
Well, I think my 48 years goes a long way to understanding how the system works. I'm vested in the area. I have still many contacts in the teaching community, and reaching out and talking to them and asking them what are some of the things that they need. I think I can address those needs on the school board, and whatever policies need to be revamped or addressed, then we need to take those policies and help the teachers to perform in a safe and in a useful way where they feel comfortable. And I think I can do that because of my knowledge and how things work and relations with past school board members.
Well, thank you, Sam. We truly appreciate you making the time to spend with us today to help the community get to know you better. And our last question that we're asking everybody is, how can voters get in touch with you? How can they get more information on Sam as they look to make their decision in October?
Well, I have a website. It's coachtaulli.com. They can get information there. And then I'm sure there's my campaign manager has a Facebook page that they can go to. And then if they need to get in touch with me, if they have questions, I'd be glad to get back to them. They can take my email address, which is sam.taulli@lusfiber.net. And if they email me, we'll read their email and try to get back in touch with them as soon as I can. And I would be glad to hear from them and see what kind of problems or concerns that they have and how we can address it.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. That was Sam Taulli Jr. He's a candidate for Lafayette Parish School Board District 6. Sam, thank you so much again, and good luck in the weeks ahead.
Thank you very much. I was glad to be here.